So, I'm keeping in contact with my ex. I'm telling you, it's 100% innocent. We're just friends, and he's somebody that I can just tell my truth to. Well, my husband found out, and now he's saying he wants to get even by hanging out with his ex. I've just found out that my husband's having fun with his ex, and now he's calling me a traitor. Do not get married young. That's the advice I gave my sister when she came to me today. She's just graduated high school, wants to go to college, and has a bright future ahead. She sent an anonymous poll to me today and said she was asking for random life advice. Well, I told her not to get married young. What I meant to say was, do not get married at all. It'll backfire on you like it has for me. We were in too much of a rush, like my mother said. We focused on all good things and did not discuss the more important stuff. Now, my husband has called me a traitor in front of his mother and dad just a few hours ago when they came for dinner. I don't get why he has to publicize our problems like that. I mean, he says that he's doing a tit for tat. For he swears that the answer about marriage on my sister's poll was for me. I told him that he had no proof of that, and he proceeded to say that I could win the lying Olympics. It's been like this all week, ever since he found out that I met my ex for a cup of coffee. It was just coffee, unlike what he and his ex-girlfriend did. But I have no proof of it, and he would not admit to his infidelity. So we're stuck in a limbo where both of us are accusing each other of cheating. The only difference between us is that I'm not cheating, and I know he is. This is what I get for forgiving him and not saying anything when I found out that he saw her again. I know for a fact that something happened between them just a month ago. Instead, I decided that since we agreed to meet exes, I could meet mine. I didn't try to hide the fact that I was going to see a friend that day. I just did not mention who. I did want him to get a bit jealous, you could say, to get him wondering who I was seeing. I was hoping that would make him see my value and he would not go see that woman again. I didn't really care about what they did. I had no proof of how far it went, and I did not want to imagine it. My only goal was to save my marriage by making him a little jealous so that he could realize my value. Well, things backfired for me. He found out that I met my ex and then accused me of being a traitor and a cheat. He said that I was not honest with him when I said that I was going to see someone. I asked him if he was ever honest with me about the night with his ex. I know for a fact that something happened which she had fun doing. Of course, the man decided to gaslight me and call me jealous. He said that it's not fair for me to meet someone who was clearly still in love with me, and he told me to stop. Well, that was 2 weeks ago, and I was very angry with him, and I simply needed somebody to talk to. So I told my best friend about it. She told me that the man could not handle being dished what he also served. She also told me to keep the peace and keep an eye on him. If I found evidence of cheating, then I would have the advantage. A couple days later, I waited up for him. He said he went out for drinks with friends, but he came home at 8 in the morning. When I woke up, I heard his key in the door. He didn't talk to me, he just went straight for the bed. While he was in bed, I took his phone. I don't know the password, but I could still see notifications at the top. He got a lot of messages from her, and I did not know what the messages were saying. This man clearly took me for a fool, so I would show him who the fool was. I messaged my ex Jason and asked if he wanted to go for a drive. I then left a note for my husband, telling him that I went for a drive with Jason and would be back in the evening. When I came home, he was as mad as hell. We argued for a good part of the night. We've been arguing ever since, and he claims that I'm grasping at straws when it comes to him and Monica, but I know that there's something nefarious going on there. Yet, he has the audacity to simply ambush me with his parents and tell them that I am not honoring my vows. He knows how much I respect them and looks up to them. Can you imagine how small I felt when they reprimanded me? The worst part is that they did not insult me or even shout, but their words struck like a chord and made me feel so horrible. I don't know what I have to feel bad about. Jason and I are just really good friends, and nothing would ever happen between us. I love my husband, Charles, but what he has done is something I simply cannot forgive. He's trying to hide his cheating by making me a suspect, and if only he could be honest with me about what he did. While I'm hurt, I'm willing to forgive him if he does not talk to that loose woman again. Why is he so obsessed? He's married and their time together is done. Update number 1. Hey guys, so yesterday I announced the best news that I've ever gotten to my husband, but he turned away from me in front of the whole family, and I simply just feel so humiliated. I've been crying all day. How can the father of my child claim that I cheated on him, and this is my ex-boyfriend's child? On top of that, he said it in front of the whole family. I announced this news, hoping that they would help to fix our issues, and also make the family happy. With what happened in the family, within the past couple of months, we all needed some good news. My grandmother passed away and Charles' uncle is sick, so it's been a stressful time for the whole family. I've decided to invite everyone to a sushi buffet. A friend of mine has just opened a place and gave me a special coupon code discount. I paid for everyone, as it barely cost a thing. We ate, had fun, and made a lot of jokes. I was just happy that for once we were not focused on bad news. Once everybody was satisfied, I made the announcement that I was 4 months pregnant. Everybody was so shocked because it did not even show. My doctor explained that I would most likely have a small bump, even when I got to 9 months, and I expected my husband to be happy and to rejoice. However, he got off his chair and headed to the bathroom. Everybody was now staring at me to see what I would do, and I changed the topic by asking everyone if they had some tea yet. I sat in the corner for a while until I saw him come back. I gave him the dirtiest look, but he ignored it. So I get upset, walk up to him and ask him what his problem is. He shouted that he did not even know if this baby was his, and I did not have to go and make this public. He blew it off like he's been holding in the anger for a while. Well, to say that I was upset would be an absolute understatement. I told him to get a life and then walked off. I got home, packed a bag, and went to my mom's house. I've not left the room since then, and I've been thinking about the audacity of this man for a while now, and I simply still can't believe it. So he really just wants to embarrass me like that? Fine, I'll tell him that we should do a DNA test. Once the test comes out positive, I'm so going to dump his butt. He cannot treat me like I'm a loose woman. I have been with him for the past 3 years, and my ex is just a friend who I've since left in the past. He, on the other hand, is still in contact with his ex, and I say nothing about it. That makes me a fool, doesn't it? Update number 2. I regret the day I said yes to being his wife. I never knew that he could be so cruel and just be such a liar just to hide his infidelity. The truth is that he's a cheater. I should be the one divorcing him and not the other way around. He sent me divorce papers a week after the drama at the sushi buffet. Before then, he had not been answering my text message. So, when I got the papers, I ripped them up and sent him a picture. I told him that if he wanted a divorce, he could tell me in person. I was already so stressed with my first scans and handling work. Did he not choose to show up at my mom's house on the worst day? I've been sick all morning and afternoon, and I was bedridden, could not keep anything down. Mom told him to go away, because it's not the right time, but he still forced her to allow him to talk to me. And talk to me he did. He told me that we were over, and he was going to use my infidelity as the reason for my cheating. So I told him to bring it on. I was ready for him. Turns out I was not ready for him, though. Because he was determined to embarrass me, even if he had to resort to lies. He lied in the court that I suggested an open marriage, but he said no. When he refused, I still went on to see my ex-boyfriend and slept with him, and that's how I fell pregnant. So then I requested a DNA test to be done. There's no way those could be argued against. That was the biggest blow. The one that made me hate this man, you see. The DNA test came back saying that the child was not his. I know for a fact that I did nothing with Jason, so how could it be? Simply that the child was not Charlie's. The only thing that I could think of was that he changed the results. This revelation had massive consequences for me, and my mother told me that I had until the end of the month to find myself a house. After that, she does not want to see me again. My whole family's disappointed in me and thinks that I'm a dirty cheater. It hurts me to know the truth and be accused of such thing. I love this man, and I was so damn loyal. Why would he do this to me? Every day that I stand in court and hear his lies, a huge piece of my heart shatters. I just want this nightmare to end so I can focus on my baby. Now I regret ever trying to get back at him in the most innocent of ways, even though he was the one in the wrong. I hope that one day people will see that he's a liar. For now, I just have to get through the court case. Update number 3. I lost so much because of that man. I hate him so much, maybe karma will do what I could not. So now I'm pregnant, alone, humiliated, yet somehow people think that I'm being insensitive to his situation. What I'm supposed to say to him? I don't know. That I'm sorry that life sucks for him? I'm not the one who's causing his heart problems despite what his family has said to me. They've accused me of making an underlying condition worse, all because I confronted him and his mistress after we got divorced. They could not put themselves in my shoes and imagine how I was feeling. The court found that I was the reason for the divorce, and because of that, I lost the house and had to pay him alimony. The great part is that he has no responsibility for his child at all. When I left the court, I went back to my apartment where I was living alone. I took my antidepressants, and then I tried to sleep. I couldn't sleep, so I decided to get up and take a walk. When I was walking in the park, could you imagine who I saw sitting on the bench together? Oh, nothing more than Charles and his little girlfriend. Right in front of my eyes, they hugged. I made my way over there and made sure to let them know what I thought of them. She, on the other hand, told me to stop making such a fuss. Now was not the right time, and I asked her, why is it not the right time? Is it simply because you're on a date? She told me that he could explain to me, but I need to calm down. I could not be calm. Tears filled my eyes. I was full of rage. I held on to him and I shook him. Then the next thing I knew, he was going down. He clutched his chest in pain. Something was happening to him. We called the ambulance, but she would not let me come along. He's fine, but everyone's blaming me for this little mini stroke or heart attack. It's not my fault. He's the one who's been lying, and now his lies are starting to catch up to him. Honestly, I got off worse than he did. I lost our house, and I'm now financially responsible for him. In addition to that, I have no one left in my circle because everyone hates me. From now on, I'm just going to focus on myself and my healing. I'm going to make sure that I give birth to a healthy baby. I'm also going to make sure that I leave this town soon and start over. As for his lies, they're about to come back and bite him. It just sucks that I have to be seen as this bad person. Update number 4, Charles' comment. And this is where we switch perspective. And now we're going to see a different point of view. Here is update number 4. Maureen, are you really going to carry on dragging my name through the mud like this? Your own family and friends don't believe you, so what makes you think that strangers on the internet will believe you? They're not there, and they did not see the things that I saw. Yet they're calling me a bad person and giving you sympathy. For anyone who feels sorry for her and wants to help her out, please read this and then decide if you want to help her. She's using people's emotions to deceive them, and it's not okay. I feel like the people deserve to hear my side of the story as well, so they can go ahead and decide on their own. You've painted yourself with gold, Maureen, but in reality, you're the worst mistake of my life. First of all, I'm not having an affair. I've not had anything romantic with my ex-girlfriend since we broke up more than 10 years ago. This is a woman that I've not seen in years, and she's recently moved back to town. Monica's a happy, married cardiologist. She loves her husband, has kids, and would never cheat on her husband. She's just not that kind of woman. All romantic attraction between her and me faded a long time ago. That was what led to the ending of our relationship, and I did not love her as much as she loved me, so we decided to become friends. She came back to town recently and asked to meet up. We met up at her house with her husband and kids, and we spent the night playing board games and chit-chatting. Her husband and I have become very good friends, and she's more than okay with the two of us being friends. I asked Maureen to come with me to dinner with them just a few days later, but she said that she was busy. She was very moody. Now I know she saw the message that Monica sent to me. Monica was talking about charades, not hopping into bed together. However, Maureen decided to use that excuse to bring the disaster of her ex-boyfriend back into her life. When I met Maureen, she was broken after that jerk decided to run away with some budding pop star and leave her alone. He came back into her life several times and messed around with her some more. Maureen and him became friends, and I got to know Jason really well through her. He was ridiculously attractive, super smart, and even funny, but also a narcissistic jerk. He treated her like trash for years, and guess who has to be there to pick her up when he flaked out on her again? That's right, me. It happened for years until she decided to stop entertaining him and gave me a chance. We fell deeply in love, built a trusting relationship, and Jason became a ghost of the past. That is until she contacted him and asked him to go out with her for coffee. I'm not speculating, I heard it straight from the horse's mouth. He bragged to me when I ran into him at the auto shop, and I was shocked that he was back in town and tried to make conversation with me casually. He then told me that he was surprised I was still with her, since she was not wearing a wedding band when they last saw each other. Well, this led to the fight that she told about, so yes, I told her that she betrayed me. But she accused me of betraying her and sleeping with Monica, which did not happen. With these problems in my marriage and with my health, I confided in Monica. She was the first person I told when I got the diagnosis that I had serious cholesterol, which would lead to heart conditions. While she was not my doctor, she was my friend and somebody that I could talk to. I admit that I spent a great deal of my time with her, and at the time I wanted to tell my wife, but I did not want to worry her. She already had so much straining her, and in addition, I did not want to force her to let go of an opportunity because I was sick. She had just been offered a chance to work at the country for 6 months next year, and I was not sure of the prognosis of my heart disease, and I did not want to make her give everything up for me. Even though, we fought, she cared about me all her life, and I knew that she would be scared, what with her grandmother being sick and my uncle also being sick. Well, her grandmother eventually passed away, as she told you, so I talked to Monica as I took my treatment and kept this secret from her. Maybe she saw this as me cheating and that drove her to do what she did to me. She thought I was blind, but I saw, the marks on her body, the hickeys that she tried to conceal, and I just simply noticed that sometimes she would come home a little bit later, but I had no proof. I had no proof that the person we had been trying to escape for years, her ex, was back in her life and just wrecking it. I thought back to all those years ago when she was so obsessed with him. It was like he was a drug that she was trying to resist. I told myself that she was stronger than that and that she wanted to wean him off. But years later, he was still as addictive as usual. So when she announced her pregnancy, a fuse went off in my head. I could not believe that she was carrying that jerk's child. How could she? How did I know this? Because she and I were not ready for kids yet. We discussed it and put measures into place, and there was no way that the child was mine. So yes, I lost it at the buffet and she left. That is the person that you think is innocent, and that is the shameful truth that she is too afraid to admit. Update number 5. Hey, I've clarified part of the story, but it seems that there's more that I need to clarify, so I shall do that. You thought you knew Maureen, right? Well, now you'll realize that you cannot trust a stranger's words. First things first, the DNA test. I did not fake the reports. I did not have the power and influence to do something like that. The first test was done, which revealed that I was not the father. She claimed that it was tampered with, so my lawyer managed to get a court order so that she and her side dude Jason could be tested. Jason was already in another town when all this happened. He simply could not refuse to do the DNA test. After all, there was a court order. The DNA test then proved beyond a reasonable doubt that he was the father of the child. His reaction was incredulous. He had an outburst in court calling her a crazy jerk for entrapping him, and he claimed that she lied to him that she was on birth control, and he could not believe it. She, on the other hand, lashed out, saying that he should not have come back and he's the one who decided that he wanted nothing to do with her once he was done with her. She told him that he ruined her marriage. He laughed at her and told her that it's not her fault that she was in a loveless marriage. He was sure that I didn't love her. I had to hold myself back from going right up to him and just delivering a sucker punch. How dare he claim that I did not love her? Maureen, I watched your face crumble when he said that to you, and was that when you realized that you had thrown it all for nothing? For a man who would not even stay with you for a baby? When he told you to just get rid of the baby because he wanted nothing to do with you, that is who you threw us away for. You simply projected your insecurities on me when I could never cheat on you. I only talked to Monica because of my heart condition and because she was a friend. I did not want to stress you. Instead, you make assumptions and jump at the chance to jump in bed with him. You were looking for an excuse for him. It just feels like all these years have been looking for an excuse to leave me and chase your pretty-faced rock star. I was not enough for you, so tell the truth and stop acting like the victim. Update number 6. Hey guys, the truth was too difficult for her to bear. Like how she attacked me in the park when I was talking to Monica. I was letting her know that my condition was getting worse and that I was going to have to change my diet and make some lifestyle changes. Out of nowhere, she came up to me and started shouting at me. I got a bit short of breath, which Monica noticed and asked her to stop. She did not stop, and I ended up in the hospital. I have to have surgery or I would have died. The months of recovery were difficult, but I had my family. She, on the other hand, was busy trashing me and just spreading lies. They tried to shelter me from her words, but they found their way to me either way. I did not let them affect me. I told myself that we were done and that I simply needed to focus on my recovery. Well, which I did. Little did we know that she had one more selfish act planned. Remember when I told you about her opportunity to work overseas for 6 months? Well, she decided to give up her newborn baby and take the opportunity. Before she left, I sent her a message because I was concerned about her. She was barely a month postpartum, and she was already thinking of travel? What I got back were harsh words. She told me that I'd already managed to turn everyone, both online and offline, against her. What did she have left? I told her that she had a daughter who needed her. She then said that the parasite is not my daughter. I was speechless after reading the message and cannot understand how she could have at least leave her daughter for a job. She has since left and the child is in the system. I hope that the child never has to find out who the selfish people who made her are, for it will probably end up breaking her. At least she has a chance of ending up with a very loving family who will take care of her. Maureen will keep on running even though no one's chasing her. When I met her, she was running after Jason, and now she's running after adventure. Who am I to judge? A woman who chose her career over motherhood? To be honest, let me not say anything about it. What I do worry about is her health. I know that pregnancy takes a lot out of someone's health, yet she's going back to work so quickly. I hope that she's able to become successful and that it's worth it. 3 months later. It was not worth it. She's back and trying to get her child back from the system. That is proving to be hard. Considering that she's the one who gave the child away, it's also kind of tricky because there's people who are trying to adopt the child, a couple at my church. I've started to go to church since I've came back from the hospital, and maybe the near-death experience is what prompted me to want to go there. I volunteer at the church when there are any initiatives. It helps to keep me busy. Otherwise, I'm alone in that big empty house, and sometimes I dream of having a family. The pitter-patter of little feet running in the hallways and my wife waiting for me after work. That's just a dream that was never realized. Monica and her husband have planned a blind date for me this weekend, though, and I hope that it all goes well. I don't know if I'm ready to move on yet. Maybe I am, and it'll be a wonderful thing, but who knows? What I do know is that I'm immune to my ex-wife's tricks. Guess who had the nerve to text me when she got back to town? She said that being away made her think and realize that she made a lot of stupid choices. She reckons that she let a person who really cared about her get away while chasing that idiot, Jason. She confessed to me that she gave up the baby so that she could chase him again. She told him that she had given up the baby and wanted to be with him only, just to find out that the man has multiple baby mamas who are also suing him for child support. She then decides to pursue her career and tries to make it fill the whole of her life. She claims that it did not, and she felt miserable. She could not stop dreaming of her daughter and me, of us being a family, and she told me that she was sorry. He got to her head again and drove her crazy, but she wanted to try once more. Want to know what my response was? I blocked her number. Blocked her off all platforms. Ugh. This weekend I'm going on a blind date. Maybe it'll go well and maybe it'll be a disaster, but that's okay. I feel that my heart is healed both physically and metaphorically because the person who was making me sick is gone. If you're reading this, Maureen, then I want you to know that your actions have consequences. You're a grown woman and you can make your own choices. You chose to chase that thrill, going at hundreds of miles per hour, and it made you happy. Now you're feeling motion sickness and the ride is over, and you have been dumped at the side of the road. I just hope that it makes you better. Try to be more honest in life, and maybe, just maybe, you'll pick yourself up. For the most part, well, I'd say I did truly love you. The part of you that showed me in the 4 years of marriage, but then I realized that I married a stranger. I'm not going to lie. At first, the original OP completely had me convinced. But then when we switched up and saw a different perspective that was not Maureen's, well, we can tell that the story was not exactly how we thought that it was. I want to know your thoughts about this story, guys, and in the comment section down below, let me know whose side you're on. I've always thought narrating some of these stories, you know what? I wish we could have a different perspective on some of the people in the story. Maybe they're not telling the full truth and we can get an overall perspective. Well, we finally got that with today's story and I want to know your thoughts about it. So drop it down below in the comment section, guys. My name is Mr. Reddito and I narrate stories every single day. So if you want to be a part of these daily videos, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and just remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.